All right, the last rule I wanted to talk about today was the midsegment of a triangle. A midsegment of a triangle connects the midpoints of two sides of a triangle, and any triangle could in fact have three midsegments. If we are connecting the midpoint U to the midpoint V, then that would be a midsegment there. We could connect W to V, creating another one, or we could connect W and U. Sometimes they'll draw all three of them, sometimes they will only draw one. It just depends on what they want you to do with the problem. Now, the rule about a midsegment is that it is in fact equal to half of the length of the base, or it's like corresponding base. So WU would have a corresponding base of SR. And as you can see along SR, the midpoint is V, telling us that SV is equal to VR. Well, if WU is equal to half of SR, then it's actually equal to SV and VR. So all of the green segments will be congruent to each other. And we could say the same with like UV and TW and WS. And we could have WV congruent to TU and UR. So some cool things that happen with midsegments. It actually, if you draw all three, you will see that you have created 4 triangles in this image, and they can all be proven congruent to each other through the use of side, side, side. So pretty neat about midsegments. Here is a typical problem using midsegments from Edgenuity. Given that PO is a midsegment of triangle LMN, all right, so we got to use our vocabulary. Midsegment means that P and O are midpoints. Midpoints means that's halfway of the segment, so that if P is a midpoint, then MP and PN are equal. And if O is a midpoint, then MO is equal to OL. So we can have those congruent markings there. And remember that the midsegment is half of its corresponding base. So if I said that this was X, then this would be 2X, because that's the base that corresponds to that midsegment. Now, what they want to know is, to which segment is MO congruent? So we are looking for MO. What does MO match with? MO will match with OL. Based on the definition of midsegment, which relies on midpoints, midpoint tells you have congruent segments. Triangle midsegment theorem states if the midsegment of two sides of a triangle is parallel to the third side and half as long. So there's two things about it. Not only is it half as long, but it is parallel. So we could go back to this image and we could make the statement that PO is parallel to NL. Here is a sample question. It says if F is the midpoint of CD and G is the midpoint of CE, well, if we have two midpoints, then we have a midsegment. And if we have a midsegment, then we can know some more information. We can know that it's parallel to the third side of the triangle. We can also know that it is half of the length of the third side. So we know that 4x minus 1 is equal to half of 6x plus 4. So I'm going to create an equation relating these two pieces. You could write 4x minus 1 equals 1/2 6x plus 4, or you could say 4x minus 1 times 2 equals 6x plus 4. They're going to do the pledge, so I'm going to end that here. You would solve for x and have your answer.